Hi class, welcome to another lecture on CS 575. So we are looking at now variance. In the previous class we saw mean absolute deviation. Again a very good metric, but less penalizes the extreme values. So now we come across variance and then we will see standard deviation. So what is variance? Now see whether you take an absolute value x minus x bar and the absolute value so that the negatives are gone. You can also ensure that the difference of x minus x bar is always positive by taking the square. Right? So the formula for variance, we write it as square because we are doing squaring of a term, right? So as a simple example, x minus x square will always be positive, right? This is like basic algebra. So just for an example, let us say 10 minus 5, if the mean is 5, is 5 square, and 5 minus 10 gives us minus 5 square, which again is 25. So in both the cases, the squaring term will ensure that the numerator will always stay positive, right? Since the numerator will always stay positive, we will neglect those things that we saw in the mean deviation, because summation of these terms will actually come out to 0 in normal cases. Hence we are doing a square to ignore the negative terms so that they don't cancel each other out. So variance is nothing but s square. I will say why we are using s square, because we are squaring the terms, right? So this gives me a difference about the square. So let us take a standard example and then we will see how does variance compute. So for every value of x, we are subtracting the mean and then squaring it. So I have values in my data set 2, 4, 5, 8, 11. Right? So you can see the summation of this is 30. Now I am calculating the mean. So 30 and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. 30 by 5, x bar is 6. Now I am computing the statistics x minus x bar. See, I am not doing an absolute here. I am just calculating the normal difference. So 2 minus 6 is minus 4. 4 minus 6 is minus 2 and so on. Now what I am doing, x minus x bar, I am just squaring it, right? You can see the square here. Minus 4 square is 16. 2 square minus 2 square is 4 and so on. Now when I add up all this, I get 50, right? So you can see x minus x bar is the same term that I get in the numerator. Summation of this is 50. And denominator is n. What was n? N was 5. So in my case, this will be this will basically become 50 upon 5, which is equal to 10. Right? So in this case 50 by 5 is equal to 10. So my variance, that is s square. See why I write s square? Because I am squaring here. Right? So s square basically is equal to 10, but this is not the this is variance. But to quantify it in a better fashion, we calculate standard deviation, which is nothing but we basically take the square root of s square, which is s. In our case, s square was 10. So which means square root of 10, it will be something 3.1. Fine? So in this case, the standard deviation comes out to be 3.1. And now at least let us do one thing. Let us calculate the mean absolute deviation. So in that particular case, what would have happened? Minus 4 would have taken 4. 2 would have taken here, 1 would have been here, and this and 2 and 5 would have remained, right? Mean absolute. So all the negatives will become the absolute values. Let us calculate this. 4 plus 2 6 plus 1 7 plus 2 9 and 14. Right? And when n is equal to 5, so 14 by 5, the mean absolute deviation is 14 by 5, which is equal to 2.8. Now you can see the mean absolute deviation is 2.8 and the standard deviation is 3.1, right? Although very close. Hence I said that there are many studies in which mean absolute deviation is also used. But you can see standard deviation is slightly more than this. And now why that? Because if you see mean, right? The mean is 6, and which is the extreme value? The extreme value in this case is 11, which is 5 units more than 6, right? So once 11 is there, when you do this particular thing, so it will be 11 minus 6 whole square. So this factor basically contributes 25 on the numerator, right? As against only 5 in the case of mean absolute deviation, right? So usually for this reason, in order to penalize the extreme values, standard deviation is more preferred, because this squaring term actually helps to penalize the extreme values. And there is another property by which for which the standard deviation is more preferred, right? You can absolutely do your task with mean absolute deviation, because computationally it is more efficient, because it involves only addition, as against squaring, because squaring takes on multiplication. Although with bitwise operators you can ensure a very efficient squaring, so that is double. So squaring is tough. So now let me show you one example or a property of standard deviation, right? So this was N1. So on a normal scale, when we do our normal experiment, we talk about the bell curve or the Gaussian curve or the normal distribution, right? So in the universe they say that most of the things are normally distributed, right? So this is the mean. Mean we denote by the Greek letter mu, right? So from the mean you can see on the left hand side, on the right hand side there are like equal values, okay? So variance is denoted by S square, and standard deviation is square root of variance and is equal to, we denote it by sigma, right? Sigma, S for standard deviation, S for sigma, right? So the property here is like this. If this is the mean and the distribution is normally distributed, so the board is wet actually because of, okay, let me just try to dry it out. So given a normal distribution, and this is the mean denoted by mu, right? 50% values on the left of the mean, 50% values on the right of the mean. So what the standard deviation says, let me just take different colors. So I see this. So this particular region covers 68.7, 68.3 actually, 68.3% of the data. The complete red region, okay, from this to this, so not only this and this, the complete red region basically covers 95.5% of the data, and the complete green one, right, so the complete this covers 99.7% data. And what are these limits? These are mu plus 1 sigma, that means one standard deviation. So mu plus 1 sigma, then you have this as mu plus 2 sigma, this is mu plus 2 sigma, and finally we have mu plus 3 sigma. Right, so this is only valid if your data is normally distributed. Okay, so the property says that if you are given the mean of a data sample, so in the previous case we had the mean as, if I remember correctly, the mean was 10. Sorry, the mean was 6. So in the previous case, the mean was 6 and you saw the standard deviation was 3.1. So when you do, if assuming that the data was normally distributed, 6 plus 3.1 will give me this particular value, 6 minus 3.1 will give me this particular value. Within this range, the 68.3% of the data will lie. Then when I do 2 standard deviations, so this value basically will be 6 plus 2 standard deviation, 2 into 3.1 plus minus because on the left and on the right. When I do 3 standard deviations, so I reach this particular point. So this will be 6 plus minus 3 into 3 multiplied by 3.1. Right? So this is a very good property of standard deviation that makes it usable far across. Right? So given the data is normally distributed and you have only two values, the mean and the standard deviation, you can get an idea about 99.7% of the data that will actually lie between the mean and the 3 standard deviation. So this is one property that makes standard deviation very versatile, right? And also from the descriptive point of view, standard deviation is a single value. Well, it's satisfied. It should be algebraic because if you can see, there is only squaring, which is basically power, and addition. Order does not matter like median, so again it satisfies this. Should consider every observable value obviously because it is taking all the n values, and finally should be able to consider the frequency also. So that is also covered here, right? You can just multiply by n for whatever frequency the data is coming, right? So I hope it makes you clear why standard deviation is more preferred here, right? Also for variance, basically now we are talking about variance. Remember one thing, this is the second order. Why second order? Because we are doing S square, right? So we call it as a second order a statistic, right? We will also see what is the third order and what is the fourth order statistics in the next upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.